So we're just going to take a moment. Just allow spirit in, fill the room. Before we do the reading of the first 50. And then if anyone feels the call to offer up anything, feel free. The invitation's already extended. So. So you can stay in the space wherever you are as long as you feel to. I'm gonna just read a couple to get started. I'll be honest here. Hi, Viviana. All right, so I'm gonna read a couple and then we'll just sort of round robin. We all know what we're doing here. You know, we're just receiving this transmission directly from our brother. So it's not about reading the words, about receiving this transmission and allowing ourselves to be moved. All right. So. Ooh, nothing I see means anything. Oh. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning so that vision may take its place. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this. And only this I see. This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I do not want to see according to them. Gemma, would you like to?
Sure. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I made before? These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God.
Do another one.
I am never upset for the reasons I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I'm constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go.
Thank you. Janine, you ready?
You say me?
How you feel?
Good. So we're on 6, right?
Yes.
I am upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality, and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine. I am always upset by nothing. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past and therefore no enemies. And I will look with love on all that I failed to see before.
I'd love to hear another one.
My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing.
Thank you. Charmaine, would you please?
I haven't got my book here
No?
with me.
Okay.
I'm happy to get it up online if
Yeah, okay. Would you do that and then we'll come back to you?
yeah, which version?
FIP.
FIP.
Yeah, I think there's a little difference in the COA. So we'll come back to you then.
Yeah, thank you. I'll get it.
I really want to hear it from you.
Type in lesson 51, Charmaine, in the review sections. It brings all the reviews up.
Yes, thank you.
Say that again.
If you type in lesson 51, that's all the review section.
Lessons.
So I'm going to go to Anna. Yeah, because we are in the review. That can be a little tricky. All right, Anna.
I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again that I may see. My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts. Yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this world is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane, and I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing.
Oh, Anna, you just dropped the mic. Oh, thank you, sis. Charmaine?
I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. I am grateful that this world is not real, and I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. Wow. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist.
Please keep going.
God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide.
Oh. Please keep going.
My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's ray is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him, because it is not my will that they do so. My will is his, and I will place no other gods before him. Whew.
Thank you. Ooh. Oh my God. I don't see Viviana, Charmaine. Can you read while I see what's going on with Viviana? Can you do one more, please?
You want me to do another one?
Yeah, I'm gonna see Viviana. I'm sure Viviana wants to read, but I don't see her yet. So check in with her.
Okay.
Galaxy S21 FE5G.
I have no neutral thoughts.
100%.
No neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to go back up. Gemma.
Sorry, just finding where we're up to. What lesson are we on? Sorry.
17.
Oh, wow.
The second one, I think.
Thank you.
I don't even know.
I see no neutral things. What I see. What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist, because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change. And so I also know the world I see can change as well. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thoughts in them, and the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their sight as well as mine. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe. A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain. He cannot be alone in anything. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine, for mine is the power of God.
Feel it. Read that again. Breathe. You sound like you're reading a travelogue. Connect with it.
Okay.
No, stop.
Okay.
Let it in deeper than you've ever been. Feel, reach out with your feelings, past the words. Don't read until you feel like you're ready to read. Don't rush it. Be prompted from within.
I am alone. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe.
Yes. Good. You see the difference? Feel it. Let it in to the depth of your heart. You can't read these words and not be affected by them. These words are your truth. These are words that you've written for yourself before time began, that you can begin to remember who you are forever. They show your holiness. They're symbols, but they stand for something that represents what it is that is beyond all symbols in you. Let them be living words. Let them be alive in you and affect you and twist you and turn you and mold you into the being of beauty that you truly are, as an awakening portal for humanity. That's your purpose. Live it, breathe it, be it. It's what you already are.
A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain.
Yes.
He cannot be alone in anything. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine. For mine is the power of God. I am determined to see.
Breathe. Up straight. Breathe. Breathe. Take a deep breath in and feel it go in. Connect with it going in. Let it out. It's Not that hard, is it? Yes. Charmaine, read us a lesson, please.
Oh,
Nice to see you here.
It's nice to be here. Thank you.
And Janine, nice to see you here too. Let's take that thing out of your hair. Let your hair down.
Really?
Yes, really. Let your hair down.
Okay, I haven't brushed it though.
Gemma, what lesson was that?
Breathe.
I think
Good.
it was 20.
the
20.
next one is I'm determined to see. Number 20.
You're beautiful.
I am determined to see. Recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts, I am determined to see.
Breathe. Yes.
I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would hold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear, laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it touch me that my will and the will of God are one.
Close your eyes. Yes, breathe. Take some deep breaths. Try to ground yourself. Try to focus on why you are really here. How important it is to you. Breathe. Try to put aside that childishness. You've come here to learn and to teach to learn. You're like two giggly girls in a classroom. Let go of that. The learning is more important. Breathe. Janine, can you read the next one, please?
I am determined to see things differently. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me rather than those which show me an illusion of myself.
Close your eyes. Sit comfortably and take a few deep breaths. Heart and mind are being brought together They must come together. They work together. Mind is the place of decision. Heart is the place of power, passion. The decision for your Christhood and the power to give that decision validity and purpose and integrity in you come from your heart. You're a very strong mind, perhaps stronger than me, perhaps stronger than all of these gathered. This is not your first trip around the sun. If you look at the idea of incarnations, this is perhaps your last. There's something in you that you know already. I can see it in you. There's something in you that you are already touching on. And it's calling to you to join in this final chapter, this final, whatever this is. There's a strength in you that has brought you here. It's the same strength in everyone else, but I'm certain in my mind that you're more aware of it in you than everyone else is in this room. That doesn't make you special or anything like that, but it makes you up there. But still, discipline is required. We're all here for the same reason, regardless of whether we've had 100 incarnations or one. We're all here, whether our obligation to time and space through salvation is bearing 100% integrity or 10% integrity. It's still only a little willingness that matters. It's still only a little willingness that's required. So Janine, I'm going to ask you to dig into your heart space to allow how you truly feel to represent you when you read this lesson, to allow how you truly feel when you read this lesson to be expressed through the divinity of your voice, through the gift of your extension of yourself in this particular way, in this form, through this form. There's something in you that I want to hear. There's something in you that's going to blow the doors off this room, off this continuum, off this world. It's like when they smash the bottle on the ship. It's that moment. It's that. Breathe. Feel it. Go for it.
The next one.
Do the same one.
I am determined to see things differently.
Feel it.
Pardon me?
Feel it. Try to let it in.
What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself.
Beautiful. Do the next one, please.
What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It is my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have.
Good. There's a beautiful humility in you when you read, an honesty and an openness. It's very lovely. It's directly connected to your divinity. True humility of divinity is accepting your Christhood. There's a passion and a willingness in you. There's a maturity in you that's just, I think this course will help you to tap into it even more and more and more. And, you know, it's like sometimes there's many stories you hear, and like some of the stories of reincarnation, and there's various versions of a lesson we'll repeat until it's learned. And I get a very strong sense from you that you've learned this lesson. You're probably just here for the party or something. I don't really know. There's something in you.
Certainly hasn't been a party, but.
Right. It never is. There's something in you that's, I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
It says in the course, the equality of the sonship does not imply homogeneity here on earth. Everybody here is where they're at in their own transformation. We're all on the same path. We're all headed in the same direction. I love the letter that Helen Schuckman wrote to Bill when she was beginning to channel Jesus, and she didn't even realize that it was Jesus at that stage. And she said she was beginning to get a sense that we were all like children walking happily along a path together, some of us up the front and some of us at the back, but we were all together on that path. And when you stick around in this energy, when you hang out in these chat rooms and course groups and circles of spiritually directed beings, you very much get that sense all the time. The idea that there are elder brothers and those that aren't even born yet into the continuum that are also on the journey. It's an incredible, expansive and beautiful awareness of just how perfect and flowing the path of salvation is through the world and beyond. I'm always completely flabbergasted. I remember meeting a lady at the markets once. I was buying my fruit. I can't even remember what she said, but she, you know how old people, and they just sometimes come up to you and just start talking as if they've known you for 50 years and all their life. And I forget what was going on, but just the way she spoke to me and what she said back then, way back then, I remember the overall feeling was like, who is this person? Not because I thought she was a crazy kind of woman, but it's like, it felt like she was a drop-in. It felt like she was somebody that had been put there to tell me something specifically so I would stop and question what the hell was going on. You know, and I've had many people in my life like that. Many people have crossed my path and they come along. And now that I have a more spiritual, I guess, awareness of things, if you want to put it like that, I sometimes am more careful of the appraisals I make of people in a certain sense regarding my own transformation. because you never know when the enlightened master is going to be dressed as a garbage collector. You know, you never know when your daughter who's studying ballet is going to come out with the next parable. It's just an incredible thing. Within each of us is that incredible gift of divinity that it just shoots through in spontaneous moments, in holy instants. It just shows up. And, you know, when you start to tune into the whole, to the big picture, you learn more and more to connect with those instants, with those moments, as not so much being out of time sequences, but more as being, aha, of course, there's a reminder. And it's like you showing up here, there's a kind of a reminder in me. There's something going on in me, and I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, wow, cool. There's something good going on here. There's something really solid. So anyway, Bibiana. Oh, I have a funny one. Just while we're on that, Janine. This is right. So we're one mind connecting. We're one mind reconnecting, connecting, awakening, whatever you want to look at it as. I was walking through, I think I told you this story, Tina. I was walking through the supermarket one day. We have these big shopping mall. This was only like a year ago, maybe. And I was just walking along, people watching and just looking in shop windows and doing whatever as I normally do, and probably a little distracted. But I looked in amongst the aisles of Woolworths. I only had to go in there for a couple of items, some fruit and some biscuits or something. And I looked in amongst the aisles, and there was this guy doing his shopping in there with his friend or father or whatever. And he was really narrow at the top, and his hips and bum came right out like a bell. And then his legs went right back in skinny again. And I was kind of caught my attention by him for a second. And I had this thought pump into my mind, wow, that's a funny looking body. You know, like I've seen all shapes of bodies and sizes, and, you know, like everybody's avatar is kind of different to everybody else's in most regards, but this one was really out of the box. And anyway, and then I realized I was sort of like making this judgment about him, and it wasn't him, it was his body that I was looking at, you know, and I corrected myself and I went on with my shopping. Anyway, when I came out, right, I had my trolley with just a few things in it. When I came out of the supermarket, he was sitting on one of those mall seats that was just outside with his friend. And he yelled out to me at the top of his voice. And he said, I'm not funny looking, you're funny looking. Like that. And I kind of froze my hands to the handle of my trolley. And I'm thinking, did that guy read my mind? Did that guy hear my thoughts? Like, we're just one mind, I know, but it's like, what the fuck? And I wanted to turn around to him. I wanted to turn around to him and smile and go over and give him a hug and like this whole thing. I thought, nah, just keep walking. Like fear gripped me a bit. I thought, I'll just keep walking. I'll just keep walking. I don't want to play this out any further, whatever this is. But it's like you never know who anyone is when they show up. You know, it's like you have no clue. And it's like the oneness of the sonship doesn't imply homogeneity here. It's like that resonates in me in a way where I realize that I take everyone and everything for granted. That's part of the old programming, but I'm learning not to do that, right? In the learning of not to do that, like we're all in that bundle together, I guess, but in the learning of not to do that, I'm keeping my mind open to the possibility of something other than my own perception of things being present. Right? I'm keeping my mind open to the miraculous nature of divine communication in all its shapes and forms and glory, wherever it might show up, including funny looking guys in supermarkets. Right? Now that was a kind of a kick in my pants. It was like it really brought me into an alignment to watch my mind wandering. You know, Jesus says in the Course, you're far too tolerant of mind wandering. And when I read that, I felt absolutely certain that he was talking to me personally. When I was a kid in school, my teacher be like, Dave, stop daydreaming. I'd always be looking out the window, daydreaming and mind wandering and all of this sort of stuff. And so the discipline of mind training to bring a focus and an attention on the here and the now is something that takes more effort to develop a discipline towards than the anti-discipline, if you like, that I've taught myself to mind wander with. Right, so, and in you, I know there is a great discipline. I can see it in you. There's something very lovely. Anyway, Bibiana, can you read the next one, please? Also a very lovely association. You're all very lovely. Where's young Barry today? I'm quite certain he swore black and blue to me the other day he would be here at every meeting.
I saw that. I'll reach out to him. I actually reached out to him early this week because, yeah.
Every word that comes from the mouth of man is a lie. Oh, it's 4 minutes to 7. Maybe he's waiting for 7.
He's usually here for this part. We'll see.
Is he? Okay. Anyway, whatever. Go for it, Bibiana.
I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace, safety, and joy. And it is this I choose. I choose to see. In place what I look on now.
Good. Gemma, read the next one. You knew I was going to ask you, didn't you?
Just taking in Bibiana's those words.
Right. Of course you were.
Thoughts. Okay.
Breathe.
I do not perceive my own best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are. Oof. Recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself.
Read it again. Go deeper with it. You're touching on the surface and you're not letting this underneath. I know you know that. You have to push. You're a pusher. Reach out with your feelings, Gemma.
I do not
Don't be-
perceive my own best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am?
Read that line again. Breathe.
How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests.
Charmaine, can you read the same lesson, please? Gemma, listen.
I do not perceive my best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I'm willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself.
Gemma, read that lesson. Microphone.
I do not perceive my own best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests? When I do not know who I am. What I think are my best interests. Would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me.
Yes.
I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself.
Do the next one.
I do not know I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real.
Thank you.
It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everyone and everything. It is for this purpose. It is for this. Oh, I can't even read. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose. Being on a freaking roller coaster.
Yes. Good.
The purpose I have given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it.
That last sentence again. Feel. Breathe. Push. Reach out with your feelings. Push into the lesson. Connect. Yes.
Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it.
Tina. Before you start reading, as you read this, whatever prompts you or moves you, fall into it and just let it happen. Forget everything I told you last week. You ready? Go. Breathe. I want you to watch your mind. Watch your mind as you read this. Become the observer of the entity you think is Tina.
My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? Pain, illness, loss, age, and death seem to threaten me. All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control.
Good.
Yet.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yet. Oh, perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. I have tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see. But God, but God has kept my inheritance safe for me. My own real thoughts. My own real thoughts. Will teach me what it is.
Good. Now I want you to read the next lesson and apply what I told you last week. First, take a few breaths. Take a few breaths. Remind yourself. And you feel fine. Not yet, not yet. Remember, use your power. Step back. Breathe. Connect. Here I am, Lord.
Above all else, I want to see.
Breathe. Take another breath.
Above all else, I want to see.
Good.
Recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am, I realize that vision is my greatest need.
Use your power.
The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go.
Breathe.
As it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love.
Good. Look at me. You see that? That's the power of decision. The power of decision is your own, always. You're learning, but the power of decision is your own. Only the ego reacts from that guilty premise. You're a child of God. You're never guilty of anything. In our process of learning, in our passage of rising up from fear to love, awakening from fear to love, we're learning to reclaim the power of our decision. We're relearning the power of our own mind. The last remaining power we have as a child of God in this world is the ability to make a choice. You have one choice to make, to call upon either the power of fear, which is a false power, but real enough to you because you believe in it, or the power of love. One comes from your strength, one comes from your power. The other one comes from the miscreative misalignment of an allegiance that you have with that power, which you won't admit to yourself. The mind is split. Every human mind is split. It's the experience of humanity. Why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I even in this freaking Zoom room? What the hell's going on in the world? Why are people inventing nuclear weapons? That doesn't make any sense. Right. And yet somewhere in mind, it makes sense to invent nuclear weapons. There's a reasonability and a rationale for it. But now we're choosing again that the idea of defense and attack that we burden ourselves with be used for joining through forgiveness. Janine, put down your pen. Listen. Keep the mind open. Nothing to write, no notes to take. It's in the moment. Anna, read the next one, please.
Above all else, I want to see differently. Above all else, I want to see differently.
Gemma, listen.
The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance.
Yes.
While I see the world as it is now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be opened for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God.
The next one.
God is in everything I see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, united with the will of my Father. God is still everywhere and in everything forever. And we who are part of him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all.
Good. That's good. You got a lot going on?
Yep.
Defend yourself, Anna. Every time you defend yourself, you make real what you defend against. You only make it real to you, but by that you suffer. Don't defend yourself. You're a child of God. You need no defense. God is your strength and your supply. There is nothing to fear. There is no validation for you here on earth. The world cannot tell you what you are, who you are, or give you your worth. It's in you already. Focus only on that. Let the world say what it wants to say. Let them call you crazy. Let them tell you you're a failure. Let them put you into impossible situations. Don't defend yourself. God's there with you all the time. Have faith in that. Live from that, breathe from that, eat, drink, speak from that. Make it manifest. It's your truth. You're doing well. Don't worry about everything else. Any human being, any human association, conscious association that comes to this course usually does so after a long, long journey of being completely impacted by emotional retention. We get so sick and tired of the world and the way things are and our own part that we play within it that we start to shut down. We start to withdraw and become inhibited and miscreative, uncreative, unexpressive. It's almost as if we're going backwards to the caveman days where we're just going to eventually, all we're going to be able to say is, grunt. How you feeling today? I actually know guys that talk like that. So it's a miracle to feel anything at all by the time you get to this course. But this course will help you to open and feel again, but for a new purpose, for healing. Learn to be defenseless. Open your heart, open your mind, and let yourself feel the pain. Let yourself feel the suffering. Experience the fear, but not so as you can become fearful. So as you can learn how to use that fear for strength. The Holy Spirit will reinterpret it in your mind and give it back to you, washed clean of false impressions, washed clean of false definitions. Everything is just energy. Everything is just energy. In this room, everything is energy. There's a Gemma energy pulsing like this in that corner. There's a Charmaine energy pulsing like this down in that corner. There's a Tina energy doing this. Everyone has an association with one of the rays, the great rays that extend out from God, the 12 great rays. It doesn't matter which ray association you harmonize with the most or the least or any of that stuff. You're included. When I first started this course and came to this course, Greta told me I was of the yellow ray, and I didn't know what the hell she meant. What does that even mean, Greta? In the next 12 months, I began to understand what that meant. And I began to realize that others around me were of different ray associations, but all still of the one love. Each disciple that Jesus handpicked was of a different ray association. The 12 making up the one, the 12 tribes of Israel making the 13 as the one. All of that is in you as a, what would you call it? A divine working. It's going on in you in the background. There's an alignment and a realignment that's occurring. And initially it occurs through the opening of the heart and the disciplining of the mind. Mind training is where we're at in this course. Hopefully by the time you get to the course, you've already been following the heart for so long that you've done the merry-go-round of every new age possible thing. And you finally realized that the problem is the monkey mind that just goes yakety, yakety, yak and doesn't shut up. And it's like, all right, now it's time for some mind training. My journey of the heart has led me here to this classroom. Now I'm going to marry heart and mind together and join those two seemingly separate experiences of myself together as the one. And look out when they join. Isn't that right, Gemma? Read the next one, Anna.
God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. In my own mind, beyond all my insane thoughts of separation and
Stop. Just for a second. The rest of you, try not to listen to the words. Feel through the words that she's saying. Try to feel her. Try to feel her. Go for it, Anna.
God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. In my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept safe. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. and I, who am among them, am one with them and one with him.
Good. Did you feel her? Charmaine, did you feel her? The expression of her heart space, the power of her mind. You can't connect with a body. It's impossible. Bodies are designed to separate. That's what they're for. But through our feelings, we reach out with our senses. The Holy Spirit is a sense of holiness within us that we learn to harmonize with and connect with. It's the same sense that the birds have when a storm is coming or when a natural disaster and they go to another place. They just know. There's an inner knowing. They're connected with all things. Even in this world, we also are connected with all things, but have chosen to shut ourselves off. We can't connect with each other in this world, though, but we can connect with each other in mind, which happens on a whole other level beyond the conscious realm, beyond the conscious level. It's like an octopus. We're the ends of the tentacles, but we connect up here in the head. It's like we look at each other going, oh, hello, how are you? And the other one says, oh, I'm fine. It's a lovely day, isn't it? As if we're separate things. But if we look back, if we repent and turn around, we'll see that we're all connected to the octopus. It's like, I'm really talking to myself here. What the hell? I must be crazy. But it's also quite beautiful. You feel. It's like the sixth sense or the transcendental energetic that is in you is something that is already active. We call it the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit does the work in everything else. And we learn to abide with it. And as we learn to abide with it, it naturally kind of absorbs us into it, kind of takes over what was false and makes it brand new again, gives it rebirth, re-life in a whole new way, as long as we don't interfere with that. As long as we don't get in the way of the process with our pointy little brain trying to work it all out. What's going on here? Why is this happening? What's going on there? What does he mean by that lesson? It doesn't mean what he means by that lesson. If you don't understand what the lesson means, simply accept, I don't understand what the lesson means, and just keep going. Within you is the Christ. The Christ perfectly knows well what the lesson means. It's the Christ mind that wrote the course, the Christ mind that channeled it through Helen. I'm just along for the ride, this thing called Dave, this avatar, this association. I'm just sitting in the back going, woohoo, like on a roller coaster, and it just goes up and down, and we look at each other and we laugh and we scream and we do all this funny stuff. And we remember that it's just a ride. But we got to feel it. It's like that's where you connect with others. Like there are, how do I talk about this? There are levels. So in truth, there are no levels. All is one. But in the experience we find ourselves having on the earth, in this plane, in this dimension, which it would be foolish to try and deny just because we're told it's a dream, misuse of denial. I have to accept myself as I find myself, a physical entity in a physical world beset by physical limitations. I can't fly. I can't breathe underwater. I can't do all these sorts of things. I've convinced myself that I am something that is completely limited. I have to accept that I have done this to myself. I have to accept that I have convinced myself that I'm separate from creation. Until I accept it, and I can only find that acceptance in the moment. I can't accept it yesterday or tomorrow. Until I accept it, nothing can change. Nothing can move on. It's like any drama, any particular learning cycle in life. It comes around again. A lesson repeats until it is learned. Until I accept the lesson, I cannot learn it. In the moment that I accept it, it's learnt. In the moment I accept the lesson, it is already learned because the Holy Spirit is doing the work, not me. Oh, I'm limited. Okay, boom, lesson learned. Now I can go beyond that. I don't have to stand here wondering, why does this keep happening? Why can't I do this? Why don't I have enough stuff? Oh, I'm in an experience of limitation. Oh, I get it. All right, I can stop wondering all that why. That frees my mind up from why, from questioning. The ego will always question. It'll always ask 100,000 questions. And 100,000 more. But as soon as you accept there's no answer to those questions, then you'll stop listening to that voice that wants to keep on asking them, convincing you to keep asking them. I'm not going to listen to that voice anymore. It just keeps asking questions. I want answers. I don't want the questions, stupid questions. What's the point? There are some minds that come to this that are particularly academic and clerical, and they can't let go of their questions. They've trained themselves to question everything and trained themselves to examine everything with an inscrutable diligence. And it's like there's a greater undoing even required for that. But yet the miracle is not limited. You're entitled to miracles, and whatever obstinate resistance you find within yourself, the miracle can dispel it as simply as, what does he say in the Course? Mists being dispelled by the rising sun. It's nothing. So we learn to feel again. We learn to open our heart again and to trust again and to allow in the feeling of our pains and our sorrows and our joys and our happinesses, and we give them all to the Holy Spirit and allow for him to reinterpret all these things to use for our salvation, not to use for us to have a better life in the world. That may be a byproduct, and hopefully it is a byproduct. But we're about salvation now, the moving on from the third dimension. We're re-engaging with the journey of the soul through the spheres. We're letting go of the need to be verified in this dump. It was a bad idea. I don't like it anymore. I'm done. I want out. I'm tired of this stupid world and all its dumbness. What else is there, Jesus? Let's go. So I accept salvation, which is the doorway out. I will let the door behind this world be open for me, that I may look beyond it. Knock and the door shall be opened. There's a door, a portal, an opening, whatever you want to call it, in your mind that goes from the conscious level of mind, where you're aware of things, see, hear, smell, touch, taste, and thoughts to that matter, to the miracle level, to a higher level, which whilst you're in the body and seem to be in the body and have work to do in the body as far as healing goes, you can't enter into completely, but you can experience through holy instants, through moments. But the disciplining and the training of the mind is required first. Jesus says, miracles are your right, but purification is necessary first. Miracles are your right, but purification is necessary first. And the more purification work you do, the more forgiveness you apply to your thinking, the more willing you are to be led into your fearful places so you can apply that thinking, the closer you come and the easier you find it to enter into those holy instants, to enter into those moments of light communication in your meditations. I've met lots of people that tell me they have light experiences in their meditations, and I do too. I can call upon them at will now. It's something that happens so often that I kind of almost take it for granted. It's not even important. But I remember that at one time, like it's just natural now, but I remember that at one time, the first time that I had an explosion of light through my consciousness, or in that portal where I looked through that doorway, I don't even know how to talk about it, but the first time that happened, it blew my socks off. I was like, what the hell just happened in there? It's pitch, when I close my eyes, everything's pitch black in this chasm, or in this, whatever it is, the hell that, you know, it's all just dark in there. If I look at the sun, I have this red sort of thing on my eyes, but that's just my eyes. They're receptors. They tell me what, you know, but somewhere in my consciousness, there's something else going on that I'm unaware of, because I'm completely focused on body and bodily associated things. So I'm learning to relinquish my focus and my attention on that temporal identity. I'm learning to relinquish and heal from the addiction or the habituation to perpetuating the identity that I am a body. And as I let it go, let it go, let it go, and start to embrace reality, my reality as being of the spirit more and more and more, of the mind more and more and more, so the scales of identity tip eventually in my favor, and I find it easier and easier and easier to push up against the veil and find that doorway, that portal that leads beyond the conscious level into the next, whatever that will be. I already know what that will be, but I still have work to do. I'm just down here kicking tins around like you guys, so. Charmaine, can you read the next one, please?
God is in everything I see because God is in my mind.
Good.
In my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. And who am I among them, and one with them, and one with him?
Janine. Take a breath. Take a few breaths. When you feel ready.
I am not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them off merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last.
Good. Do the next one, please.
I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need to do is recognize this, and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him prisoner.
Thank you. Charmaine, can you do the next one?
I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do.
Just stop, take a breath. Try to let go of the idea that you're in a Zoom room and reading this lesson aloud. I want you to read this lesson to yourself as if you're studying for an exam in the morning. I want you to push these words into yourself. Own these words. Let them go right in as deeply as possible. You have to pass the exam in the morning. You need to feel these words. Take a breath, and when you're ready. Good.
I invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do is recognize this, and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him prisoner.
Sit back in your chair. Put the book down for a second. Close your eyes. And just look slightly up towards the ceiling. Lift your head. Close your eyes. Try to feel in your heart a sense of approach to God. Try to feel in your heart a sense of purpose. Try to feel it as deeply as you can, as if you're putting yourself on the altar. Here I am, Lord. I've come. I've heard the call. I've answered. I'm here to play my part. I'm here to do my bit. There is a depth in you that knows no limit. And from that depth, your strength comes, your passion comes, your courage comes. It is limitless. When Jesus says, say to the mountain, go here and it'll go there, he meant it. It's not hypothetical. It's not an analogy. And he said, you can heal and be healed, and that through your hands you will see miracles. He meant it. You've been called. And however it is you've arrived here today, it's because you answered the call somewhere in your heart and mind. You heard something and you answered, and you're here. The circumstances don't matter. The fact remains, you're here. Here I am, Lord. I've come to say yes. I've come to give you my unequivocal yes. I'm saying yes, and I'm going to remember that I'm saying yes in moments where I'm tempted to say otherwise. I'm determined to serve. I give you my whole self, my heart, my mind. And I will serve only from that place of my whole self. Half measures avail me nothing. Feel that in you. Let that resonate in you. Let it hurt if it hurts. Let it be joyous if it's joyous. Whichever way it takes you, it doesn't matter. Either side of the fence, it doesn't matter. But get off the fence. You cannot serve two masters. Make a decision. And when you're ready, read that lesson again.
I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do is recognize this, and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him prisoner.
I want you to read that lesson one more time. This time, push deeper. Push deeper into feeling it. There's nothing to be afraid of. Don't be afraid of your feelings. Don't be afraid of the emotions. I want you to push. Yeah. Good. Take a few breaths.
It's so tight here.
Yeah, yeah. Put your hand on the back of your head. Put your hand on the back of your head. Close your eyes. Breathe into your throat. Good. Breathe. Keep your hand there. Go on, let it happen. Better?
Yeah.
Good. It's just energy.
Everything's spinning now.
It's all right. Have you had any water to drink today?
Huh?
Have you drank any water today? No, but I had 6 beers.
Oh,
Good. To awakening. Good.
I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself, and all I need do is recognize this, and I am free. I've deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God, and I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him a prisoner.
Good. Gemma, do the next one. Breathe. Shama, go and drink a glass of water, darling. Drink a whole glass of water.
What are we on? 33?
36 for you.
Oh, thank you. My holiness envelops everything I see. From my holiness, does the perception of the real world come. Having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty. I can accept the innocence that is the truth about me. Seeing through understanding eyes, the holiness of the world is all I see, for I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself.
That's it? That's all you got?
No. My holiness blesses the world. The perception of my holiness does not bless me alone. Everyone and everything I see in its light shares in the joy it brings to me. There is nothing that is apart from this joy, because there is nothing that does not share my holiness. As I recognize my holiness, so does the holiness of the world shine forth for everyone to see.
I'm in a hurry, Gemma. I'm in a hurry. There's a sense of urgency in me. There's a speed up occurring, and I want to stay in it. I can't stay in it if I have to wait for you all the time. You can't stay in it if you have to wait for me all the time. We have to join in that speed up. We have to stay together in this sense of urgency. It's a passionate place. I know you have that in you. I've seen it in you before and recently. I want you to be aware that your ego is always going to try and corrupt it. Be vigilant.
I don't fucking want it anymore. Oh my God.
Right, exactly. Ready? Look at me. Look. I love you. Look at me. I love you. Stay there. That's the truth of us. It's from that place we do the work, not from that whingy, whiny little place. That whingy, whiny place is nothing. Our strength comes from who we are, what we are together in our oneness, in our unity. Remember.
I feel like the only way I can describe it is like there's a fucking, it feels like I'm bouncing about in this fucking really thin bubble and I can't find the fucking exit.
Right. Be still. Stop bouncing about. You're not trying to find the exit. You're trying to escape. You're trying to get out of this.
Yeah.
You know where the exit is already. You already know the truth. Stop listening to that voice that tells you that you feel like you're bouncing around in a bubble. It's just energy. Focus on it. Everything is light. Light in this world transfers as what we call energy, and even energy is a terrible way to describe it, but I don't really have any other way to describe it. Be still and breathe. Focus. It's good that you're making progress. It's natural that you're making progress. Transformation is occurring in you. It is.
Sorry, I don't know where that's come from.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's there. Every word that comes from the mouth of Gemma is a lie. We're learning not to depend on our words. We're learning to let go of them. We're learning to communicate in light. Communication is seen in light. You're in a place where you're starting to recognize the activity of your transformation as being a true thing for you. And your ego is going to do whatever it can to corrupt that and to drag you back down again, to drag you into some other little sideline and still have you convinced that you're participating in your own undoing, in your own transformation, but on its terms, to play the game of seek but don't find. It does the same in me, it does the same in Charmaine, in Anna, it does the same in all of us. The ego is voice of resistance. It'll disguise itself. That voice will disguise itself again and again and again. That's why this can't become ritualistic. That's why it can't become a process. Transformation is a process. Don't let your own participation with it become ritualistic. You're here in this Zoom room because I recognize something in you and you recognize something in me. What that is, there's no words for, but there's a sense of urgency around it. It's a natural sense. It's a calling. It's a deeper, deeper, deeper calling. The Christ in you yearns to awaken, yearns for his Father. I'm sorry for that which I've done. I'm not guilty, but I'm sorry for it. All that I've done and think that I've done in ignorance, in arrogance. But I'm not judged. You're the same. We're all the same. But we have to walk with each other. We have to help each other. We are each our brother's keeper. We are each the Samaritan. When I went through this process all those years ago, there were mighty companions who were there with me. Some of them gave me love of a soft nature, of a comforting and warm and embracing nature, and some kicked my ass around the frickin' meditation room for 6 years with the tough love stick of fucking wake yourself up. And I'm just as grateful to them for each aspect. They all played their part perfectly. I used to go to AA every Sunday, and Willem, who was my sponsor, used to look me in the eyes and just simply say, "You're an arsehole." He wouldn't say anything else to me. And I'm thinking, that's hardly very loving. Aren't we supposed to be about love here? And isn't, it's like, but I realized I was judging what I thought love should look like in this world. And I saw my reflection then of who I truly was in this world, in him, in that moment. I was an arsehole. I was an arsehole. And every other kind of thing, every other kind of description, I'm one with everything, as above, so below. If there's an arsehole, it's me. If there's a sinner, it's me. If there's a saint, it's me. Everything I see is me. But I have to continually be including in. Every day is an opportunity. Every moment is an opportunity to forgive. I have to be continually including in. Otherwise, my ego, that part of me that is still yearning and still trying to corrupt every best interest that I have, I'm not strong enough. Put it this way, I'm not strong enough. I'm not willing to trust myself, which is why I have the Holy Spirit. I'm not willing to trust myself that I'm strong enough to guide myself through this dream. God gave me the Holy Spirit, gave me Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all of these guides, all of these people, gave me all you guys to help keep me on track so that I won't let my guard down and the ego won't creep back in and corrupt my progress and my gains, and I'll be able to stay in constant communication with the light, which thankfully is now occurring, hopefully to a point where it's beyond corruptibility. Hopefully. You never know what's around the corner. You're in a place where you've just recently had a shift in consciousness. You're aware of it. You know it happens, and it's possible for it to happen again, and it must happen again. Don't let your guard down. Focus more. Be more vigilant for your state of inner peace. Use the gains you make to contribute to your maturity, to your rising up. Don't become enamored by the gains themselves. They're nothing. The miracles are nothing. It's their source that matters. Keep focused. Breathe, and then read the next one, please.
My holiness is my salvation.
Just stop for a second. When you go online and you're out on the internet and you're out in other places and whatever, there are groups and classes and everything everywhere. Course in Miracles studies, Bible studies, everything studies. Okay. All of those things are going to be reinforcing in you something. But you've got to realize what it is that's being reinforced. That's why focus is important. Your participation, your willingness. The Holy Spirit can't show you anything if you're not paying attention. Okay. Read.
My holiness is my salvation. Since my holiness saves me from all guilt, recognizing my holiness is recognizing my salvation. It is also recognizing the salvation of the world. Once I have accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding, which is the gift of God to me and to the world.
Good.
I am blessed as a son of God. Herein lies my claim to all good and only good. I am blessed as a son of God. All good things are mine because God intended them for me. I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am. My Father supports me, protects me, and directs me in all things. His care for me is infinite and is with me forever. I am eternally blessed as his son.
Good. Tina.
Mm. Mm. God goes with me wherever I go. Mm. Mm. How can I be alone when God always goes with me? How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when perfect certainty abides in Him? How can I be disturbed by anything when He rests in me in absolute peace? How can I suffer when love and joy surround me through Him? Let me not cherish oh God, let me not cherish illusions about myself. Oh, I am perfect because God goes with me wherever I go. Oh man.
Good. You heard
Yeah.
that?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I heard you hear it. I heard that just dropped in right then. That was lovely.
Mm.
Bibiana. Charmaine, I love you. There you are.
God is. God is my strength. Vision is His gift. Let me not look to my own eyes to see today. Let me be willing. Let me be willing. Let me be willing to
Stop.
exchange.
Stop. Try not to intellectualize the lesson. Try not to reach into it with your mind, but feel it with your heart There's a frequency, you're doing this. You're vacillating backwards and forwards. I can feel you going in and I can feel you going out. I want you to stay in. All of this is just an extension. All of this is just a projecting into form, a determination of a new purpose, of a new, what would you call it? A coming to of purpose. In this lesson, that coming to, in this moment rather, not the lesson in the book, I mean this lesson overall. In this lesson that we're learning, the coming to is the extension of the heart as we have always wanted it to be, but this time with the discipline of the mind. Prior to the mind being disciplined, we just follow the heart anywhere, willy-nilly, whatever. It gets broken, we put it back together, it gets broken again, we put it back together, it gets broken, we put it back together. And the heart leads us on this incredible journey of highs and lows and highs and lows, ups and downs. And oh my God, I followed my heart and I fell in love. And then the next thing you know, kaboom, I was shattered. All of these things goes on in the human experience because of the heart. We have these ways of talking about it. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I leave myself vulnerable and open. And we don't like what happens sometimes when we do that. And the reason we don't like what happens is because we don't have a way of seeing how that could possibly be useful to us. How is it useful that I put myself out there all the time and keep getting shot down and mistreated and all these sorts of things that we say happen to us? It's because we don't have a way of seeing how those things that happen are useful. But this time we're learning that we can safely extend our heart out into the world with guidance, with a disciplined guidance for a whole new purpose. And we learn that through the interaction that we have with seemingly what seems to be outside of ourselves on paper, words on a page, but already within us as our heart, as our passion. We just seem to need it out here in a tangible form for a second because we've forgotten. Eventually, we won't need the course at all. Throw it away. You don't need any more lessons, Jesus says. Throw it away. But the disciplining of the mind and the training of the mind isn't so that we can conceptualize what we're reading to ourselves and it's like we're learning through the disciplining of our mind that, one, it's okay to feel and to extend and receive, to give and receive through the heart for this purpose. And two, that's actually the only place where we can be felt. When someone speaks from the heart, you hear it. If you have a beggar in the street with a sign that says, I'm hungry, you could walk past that person every day. But if you had a conversation with that person and listened to their story and they spoke from the heart, you would feel completely differently about putting money in their cup to just walking past and reading what they've written on that sign. There's an empathy, there's a joining, there's a connectivity, even in our humanity, even in our limitation, because we are not separate from God. God is love. So when we read these lessons, when you're reading this lesson, read it through the heart. I hear the determination in your voice, but I'm feeling for the gentleness and the love of the heart. I can't join you in the mentality of the lesson. I can only join you in that place where the mentality of the lesson falls apart, falls away, and the outpouring for, I don't even know how to say it, for true communication occurs, I guess. It's like there's a whole unspoken language of the heart that we just feel and connect with and touch with each other. That's why we go to movies and we watch those beautiful Disney movies, you know, of children that having their learning adventures, and we feel touched. It's not the movie that we go for. We go there to feel touched. We go there for the beautiful experience. The movie's just the backdrop and the framework for the experience that we walk away with. So take a breath. Feel the mother in you. Feel the womb. Feel the newborn child. Feel that mother's love. Feel the love for humanity. Oop. She felt it so much she disappeared.
God is. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Let me not look to my eyes to see today. Let me be willing to exchange my pitiful illusion of seeing for the vision that is given by God.
Stop. Take a deeper breath. Go deeper. Push further into your heart space. Don't read until you feel it. How much do you want to love all your brothers unconditionally? How much do you want the love of God restored to your memory? How much is the idea of unconditional love a weight in your heart, pulling on every string you've got? Feel it. It's a calling. It's a resonance. Feel the love. Feel your heart. It's a beautiful place. Read from that place and we will all be in tears.
Let me be willing to exchange my pitiful illusion of seeing for the vision that is given by God. Christ's vision is his gift. And he has given it to me. Let me call upon this gift today. So that this day may help me. Help me. Help me understand eternity.
Good. It's nice to feel, isn't it? Sometimes that feeling can be so painful, we wish it would go away. It's not really painful. It's really beautiful when you start to see it through the eyes of true purpose. But as we're learning, we often look at things through our old references. It's like what I see as painful, the experience of my emotions is really love. It's really love. It's really something that's quite powerful. But in this world, of course, it looks like emotional release and healing and all of these things that we go through as we undergo our transformation. Charmaine, can you do another one? The thing with mind training is giving it credibility, is giving it that willingness that's required to give to the Holy Spirit. You've really got to begin to see how alike all the pathways of the world are, that they just don't really offer anything. Until you really begin to see that, it's hard to give your willingness any kind of credibility. It's just words, but not really willingness from the heart. It's just words. Yes, Lord, here I am, Lord, blah, blah, blah. It's often, they call it, we have suicide programs here, and we have lots of speakers. I guess you have them there as well, but we have guest speakers and things like that that come and do the rounds. And there are those speakers that talk from their education and those that talk from lived experience. The ones that talk from lived experience and give their talks from that place are always the most passionate. They're always the ones that you can hear because they know what you're going through. They've been through it. They know where you're at. If you go to a suicide convention, we have like so much suicide here, it's ridiculous. But if you go to a suicide convention, they have 3-day conventions and training seminars and all sorts of things. When you listen to someone talking who has had lived experience, you know that they know you. You know that they know where you're at. They know that you know what suffering is. They haven't gone to college to learn how to give a talk on suicide prevention. They've lived it. They've felt it every day of their life. They've been through it. They've only got to look at you and they know where you're at. It's the same thing with AA. My sponsor, Willem, an incredible teacher, incredible. He barely said anything to me other than calling me an arsehole, but he knew where I was at. He just knew. My words betrayed me, my actions, my attitude, everything betrayed me. And he knew it. And he wasn't fooled, and he wouldn't let me off the hook. He held me accountable right up until I felt my own pain. One day I was in the kitchen washing dishes at the healing center after lunch, and he was on shift with me. And I was reaching this kind of boiling point with him, always calling me an arsehole. And I was washing the dishes, in and he was doing something around the stove just behind me, and he goes, "How you going, arsehole?" Like that. And I put down the dishes I was washing. I walked over to him and I said, "Willem, you know what, man? That really hurts." And he gave me a huge hug. He gave me a massive hug. He said, "Thanks for feeling." I was so closed off to my pain, so closed off to myself, and he fucking knew it for about a year. He didn't just come out and tell me. He let me feel it myself. He just kept pushing that button until I felt him push the damn button. I started to feel that button in my back, in the back of my mind. I could feel him there. It's like, God damn, I hope I don't run into Willem today. I'm sick of him calling me an arsehole. Because I looked up to him. I knew what he'd been through. I knew his lived experience of an alcoholic. His skin was green from jaundice. His breath smelt like death from his liver being rotten. And yet there he was with a smile on his face every day, laughing and happy and enjoying life. And here's me in good health, completely miserable and addicted to my adjusting to my pain, adjusting so I don't have to feel. So I don't have to use my pain or admit to my pain. It's like, no, let me admit to my pain. I want to feel it. I call it pain. It's actually love. Love is a power. Through the use of that power, I can experience pain or I can experience joy. I'd convinced myself into using it to experience pain because I thought it got me something. It got me validation. It got me notoriety as the town's best drunk. Whatever, some freaking weird story I was making up in my head about myself that had nothing to do with the reality of what myself actually was. One version of me to another version of me to another version of me, none of them true, until finally I'd run out of versions and found myself in therapy, in healing, which is what this is. All healing is a form of therapy. Jesus says in the Course, all healing is a form of therapy. This is the healing of the mind. Mind and heart. I'm going to open to my pain by getting in touch with my heart. I'm going to feel my heart space in this, which because of my pain, I've limited myself to special relationships and to tiny little expressions of joy that I think I can manage without having to feel the opposite of, which is almost impossible. Now we're in a curriculum where we have joy without opposite. And we're taking responsibility for our old idea of opposites, of pain and joy, realizing that both of those things, the pain that I experienced and the joy that I experienced in the idea of trying to validate the form association, were both false. Why am I always sad? Because I'm trying to be happy. Why am I always miserable? Because I'm trying to find something out there to make me joyous. And every time it fails, I shut down more and shut down more and shut down more, because I don't remember fundamentally that love is inside me. Love is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. So now I'm saying a big fuck you to the world. I don't care about any of that. I don't care what the world thinks of me. I want to feel again. I'm going to open that cellar door where I've put all my fears and my pains and my joys and my everything. I'm going to open that and I'm going to feel it. And as I feel it, as I allow myself to feel it and allow myself to be defenseless with my pain, I can give it then to the Holy Spirit. Here, Father, take this from me. I'm not guilty. I was merely mistaken. Open the heart. Good.
God is my source. I cannot see apart from him.
Good. Breathe.
I can't see what God wants me to see. I cannot see anything else beyond his will. My own illusions. It is this I choose.
Good.
And I think I can see apart from him.
Good.
It is this I choose when I try to see through the body's eyes. The vision of Christ has been given me to replace them. It is through this vision that I choose to see.
Good. Now, everybody, feel the room. Feel the energy of the room right now, the Zoom room we're in. All of us combined, feel it. There's calm. There's a centeredness. Breathe it in. Feel it. Let it out. Sometimes it takes a second. I have a, what do you call that with the stars and the astrology? I have an astrological friend. I have a few actually, but I have one who's a prolific poster of astrological things. Not that I want to get into astrology specifically, but and she's always putting things like, oh, I felt the alignment of the planet. There's one for the full moon now, 6 planets or something she was telling me the other day. And she said, I can really feel the alignment of the planets and the stars. It's like everything in this world is a vibration that you feel. Everything in this world is a vibration. You can feel, I don't know about an alignment, but you can feel the movement of the sun and the moon and the planets and the stars, the insects and the grass and the wind blowing and everything like that. You can tune in. You feel everything is a harmonic. Everything is a frequency. And the more you learn to tune in, the more you realize that you're learning to tune into your own frequency, your own sense of self. Your sense of self, you are an idea in the mind of God. Your sense of that is what you have in this world until you experience it directly. It's good, Gemma. Your sense of self is what you want to carry with you. Your sense of self is what you're about in your Father's business. If I keep an allegiance and if I keep a devotional sense of self regarding myself and everything and everyone else, I'll carry that with me. It's a sense of holiness. We can talk about it as holiness, but you don't really know what holiness is until you experience it. So a sense of self is probably a more apt way to look at it. Holiness is a direct experience of being one in the Holy of Holies. I and he and me. That's the object and the big boom tish of salvation. We experience it through holy instants, through moments of joining, moments of connectedness, sometimes through phenomena, sometimes through, don't limit the Holy Spirit by how you can experience it, but a sense of self. And as you learn to tune into that sense of things, you'll learn to tune into your own inner guidance. Why am I here, Father? Why am I in this building, in this place, in this situation? What would you have me do here? Guide my feet, my actions, speak your words through me. Let me get a sense of where it is that I am, what I'm about, etc., etc. Let me tune in. It's a feeling. I feel the presence of God within me. I feel the love of God within me. It's always a feeling, like a drawing in. Charmaine, feel it. Take a breath. Try to let go with your mind and reach out with your feelings. Anna, same thing. Gemma, sometimes you reach out a bit too far and you overshoot where you're actually at. It's okay to get excited. Breathe. Ready? Let's take a moment now and just breathe. Realize where we are at individually with Jesus's invitation to us to give up the world and follow me. Jesus knocks on your door. Give up the world and follow me, Charmaine, he says. Where are you at with your response to that invitation? Is it, yes, Lord? Or is it, well, let me just, I'll follow you, Lord, but if this was a physical following, if he knocked on your door, your house, your children, your family, your friends, your everything, and said, Charmaine, give up the world and follow me, would you turn around to say even goodbye? Death won't even give you that chance. Ready? Breathe. Here I am, Lord. Here I am. Try to feel, try to get a sense of it. Reach out with your feelings, a sense of connectedness. Reach out through your breathing. Feel within with your breathing. Like that. Your mind will open automatically. Your mind just knows already what to do. Just be still. It'll do what it needs to do. Heart and mind together. Be still and know that I am God. So homework for today, or tomorrow for you guys, you're about to go to bed, I expect. But homework for the morning. Make a decision to listen and feel for an intuitive, I don't like the word intuitive, but again, I don't have a word for it, to feel for a sense of guidance, no matter how ridiculous or silly it might seem, for something for you to do in the day. Maybe to go a different direction to work that you've never been before. Maybe to talk to somebody that you see around that you've never made the effort to talk to. I don't know what it'll be, what it'll look like, but make a decision to step out of your comfort zone. Make a decision to allow yourself to be put in a position where you can feel your pain, where you can feel confronted, where you can feel out of depth. Do what you can to activate yourself. You are learning to participate in your own salvation. It's a collaborative venture. Comfort zones don't help you. Change, within and without, change. Father, what would you have me do today? Where would you have me go? And then try to get a sense of it, try to feel it, listen, whatever it is that you feel guided towards, and then do it, be about it. Listen, learn, and do. That's homework. Don't forget to take your crayons with you. Because it's got to be fun, right? I love you. Hope that's helpful. Bibiana, that's good. That's nice. There's a nice moment just happened just then. I know you felt it. Now you know. Gemma, good. Oh, Tina's back. Charmaine's back. Oh, what's going on? You got a whole new studio. Wow, look at you. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Oh, you got a new camera? You got a swivel camera or something? Oh, can't hear you. We just finished. Gemma, are you still going to your monastery?
Yeah, I've had a break over the summer, but I'm back there on Monday. When are you there, Charmaine? Charmaine's
Don't worry about Charmaine.
project. Yeah, I'm there on Monday.
It's important that you go there.
Okay.
It'll help to keep you more grounded.
Okay.
Right? That's a good thing that you're doing there. It's a good, like, there's a conscious, it's like you've decided, made a decision to do that. And there's a recognition in you that it's a supportive kind of thing that, like, it all works together. So I would say at this stage, while you're having a shift and while you're going through this next particular thing, don't take too many breaks from it. Stay up with it. Stay in that energy, in that frequency as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Zoom meetings or other things you do, but it's like the more you can put yourself into the frequency or the vibrational field of things that resonate within you as an idea of salvation, the better it'll be for you. It's like watch videos, you know, like helpful, transformative videos, read books, do whatever. Because believe me, your ego will kick and wiggle and maneuver to try and get back on side with you every time you have a shift. Because every time you have a conscious shift, it's going to sense that you're breaking away your allegiance with it, right? And it's programmed to keep you aligned with its doctrine, not the Holy Spirit's. Okay. So whilst I would tell you to be vigilant for the kingdom of heaven, also be aware for what drags you out of that awareness. Don't let your guard down. Be defenseless, but don't let your guard down. Right? Be more vigilant. There's a maturing in this, right, where you kind of realize that you can't trust yourself, and you learn to become more and more dependent on God, more and more dependent on your inner connection rather than the thoughts in your head that tell you what's going on. And if you spend time listening If you spend, like, even Tina and I did some listening lessons the other night. She was going through something, so we did a little one-on-one. If you spend time listening into the silence, being still, you'll actually realize how much you don't listen to the silence. You'll realize how much that voice is still there, right?
Mhm.
And so when you're not in the actual conscious decision to actually sit and listen, you can be damn sure that it's still there while you're about your normal business of the day.
Yeah.
Trying to build an avenue back in so you'll trust it again and think that everything's good now and you're okay because you've had a shift. It's like every junkie that gets clean. Oh, I'm good now. I'm good. I can just use a little bit. I can manage my own doses. And the next thing you know, they're back in rehab again.
Mhm.
Right? Don't fall for that.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Dave.
Love you guys. Thank you. Thanks for supporting me in my salvation. I really appreciate it.
Love you, Dave.
Love you.
Thank you.
Love you,
Thank you.
Charmaine. Love you,
It's all
Bibiana. Love
frozen
you,
here, but
Anna.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All thanks be to God.
Mm. Bye, everybody.